of our series. Remember, in the last video, we kind of went over what we're going to build. So I want to jump right back into it. I've actually created a new file called tutorial.html. You don't need to do that. You're going to want to do it on index. That way we can kind of keep the files separate, so I can use one for the tutorial and one for the finished product. So you can also go into my tutorial code and see where we left off. What we're going to do now in these videos, we're going to do them in multi-parts, starting with the header. Just a quick reference. Remember, we have basic HTML tags in here, but we're separating out the sections with tags, special tags designated for certain areas. So we didn't just make up this name called header. This is an actual tag used in HTML, nav, main, footer. And so that's something we're gonna use for this purpose, but you're gonna also in the future see a section tag, and that could easily be there and wrapping around this as well. But these are div tags with special names. So let's go into the header. And then you can see here what we want in the header is where we want a background image with a title or logo or whatever you want to put here. You could put an image if you wanted to. You can play with that. But for this purpose, we're just going to do exactly what that example looks like. So we're going to introduce you to a new tag. It's actually called mark. The mark tag is basically exactly like that. If you were to take a highlighter on a book and highlight words, that's what mark is for. So we're gonna just throw in some Lorem Ipsum text. Now Lorem Ipsum text is just placeholder text. Sometimes it's called Greek text or just Latin text. But the purpose of it is to make it easy for us to throw in some placeholder text so we don't have to think what to write quite yet. There's a bunch of tools out there like Ipsum.com or something like that. Anyways, you can just grab that easy. So Lorem Ipsum text. So there's a bunch of generators, Ipsum. And so you can go down here and generate words, lists, whatever. So we'll just generate like paragraphs. So you can steal some paragraphs here. You can even just grab the little sentence there if you need it. All right, so we'll just throw that into the mark. Let's save this. And I opened up a tab and I navigated to tutorial HTML. Let's refresh that. And you can see there in the header now we have text that's highlighted. Now, the reason why I like that is because it makes it clean and easy and simple for us to throw in a tag, right? That's dedicated to highlighting text, and we can actually modify that with CSS. So let's do that because right now it doesn't look very good. So what we need to do now is we need to start working on our styles. So what we're going to do is add the style tag up here. Okay. And let's start styling the header. So the actual header itself. So we'll go in here and we'll do header. And we'll open that. And notice that I don't have like a dot in front of it or anything like that because that's for the header tag. And in the header, the very first thing I want to do is put in a background image. So that's just background image and then URL. And then you have to do open parentheses, quotes, close quote. And it looks like this tool automatically does that for you. Now we need an image. Now you can get an image on something like Unsplash. I think that was mentioned. So unsplash.com gives you images. So let's say we wanted to use, some of these are sponsored images, so you got to be careful, but let's do like abstract gamer. We can do something kind of cool up here. So let's just grab this for now, for fun, and then I'll grab the image that we actually used. So you can grab the image address. So when you right click, And if you don't see that, you need to click further or get the image by itself, and you can copy the image address. Okay. Now, if I were to put that into a new tab, it actually just goes straight to the image. So you can see how that works. So let's close that, close that. Let's go back to where we are and let's just paste that in. Now it's kind of long, obviously, but this way you don't have to host the images. But if you were to host the images and you had a new folder, put images inside this structure, then you would simply just navigate to that or put in the URL to there. So let's say if that was like image.jpg. If you had an image in here, then you could reference it here. But for this purpose, I'm just grabbing one from the web. All right, so let's save that. Let's just go look at it real quick, see how it looks. Now, doesn't look good at all. So we need to start styling the header so we can actually see what's going on there. So first and foremost, we're gonna go here at the end, underneath background image, and let's start coming up with, let's start styling it. So let's put some padding on there first and foremost so we can start seeing, start creating, whoops, don't hit save, go back here, let's move this so I know, and refresh. So put a little padding in there and you can see it's 5% all the way around, okay? Then we're gonna go and put, let's do background repeat. Now we don't want the background to repeat, so there is actually a no repeat that we can use. Then background, another property we need to use or attribute, attachment, whoops, I can spell, and we need to fix it. So this is what gives us that kind of parallax effect as you're scrolling down. And then we're gonna do, and I'll kind of show you that. So let's go in the main right here. We're gonna add a bunch of BR, which is breaks, right? And I do this sometimes to mimic content down the page so we can test it. So let's hit save, see where we're at. Okay, and you can see here that the image now is fixed. So if I go back here and actually remove this, and I can comment it out by doing this. Whoops, keep hitting save. All right, save, go back here, refresh. You can see that it doesn't fix it. So it actually scrolls with the page. So we'll take that off because kind of a cool effect, but you don't have to do it. It's more for preference. And so we'll look at it and there you go, it's fixed. Okay, so let's do a couple other things. Let's do background. There's another one that you want to get used to, and that's position. And you want to center that. Background size, like if it's too small and it's not filling up the entire tag, right? In this case, it's similar to like a div tag. There's a way to do it, and it's called like a cover flow. So it expands out to the size of the container that it's in. Now we can also set a font, and let's go ahead and do that. Do a font family. We can do Arial or anything that's a device font, right? We'll do Trebuchet, so Trebuchet. I think it's MS. All right, hit save. And now what it should do now too is also start giving the text a font style. And you can see a cover flow, so it's starting to look a little bit better there. But it still doesn't look good as far as the mark. So we can actually start paying attention to the mark. Now, what I do to style a nested element, I'll actually go here and do mark. That way I don't accidentally make every single tag this same style because I want this one to be kind of unique, but I may want to use the mark tag again, but I don't want every mark tag styled. So a way to do that is to isolate its parent, which in this case, the mark tag is inside of header. If there was a mark tag down in the main, what the styles that we're about to put on would not affect that. So we can change this font size. Let's do 50 pixels. Hit save, refresh. There we go. We start to see it take shape. Let's do a background color of that fuchsia or pink color that we had on there. I think it's that, and that's just the hex color. You can look up on like the web for color palettes or whatever that might help you. Let's refresh. There we go. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, so we do the same exact, I'm going to grab a different image and put it there so you can see how I can change it. Let's hit save again, come back here, refresh. All right, so we went back to what it was. All right, you can see there's still some other styling that we need to do. Let's do a padding. Now this is gonna make it so there's a little bit more space between. So right now you can see how tight the box is around the text. Now I'm gonna refresh and now it'll give it some padding. So it looks a little bit better inside that box. I can also change the color. So color, let's do it white. So that's all Fs. And refresh. And we'll go, let's see. And then we want to center this. And so what we'll do inside here, the header, we'll actually, I think it's text line center. I think that's what it is. If not, I'm going to show you how to look this up. There we go. So you can also, like I said, Google text align in CSS and use the web. And typically W3 Schools is going to be the first one to pop up. Click on it and you can see how you can center elements. Kind of scroll down and sure enough, text align center. There you go. So you can see, so if I had forgotten that, I can just go to CSS align and kind of read through. There's no way to memorize all of this. If you did, you're not going to be a coder. You're just going to be someone who's really good at memorizing for no reason. It won't help you. You just need to know that you can align something and then get used to Googling it and get really good at that. So you can see there that that we did. That we have that. Now before we end this video, I'm going to show you one more thing. Let's do something on the body to kind of give it that padding, because you can see with our example there's a little bit better padding in there in that background. And so I'm going to show you real quick on the body tag. So you can see here, let's actually add it above everything else so it's kind of in order. So if we need to go back and read through it, right? Let's add some padding. So that way it'll pad the entire document. Hit save. And then it'll give us some padding there. Okay, so I know we've worked on we've worked on the header now. If we wanted to give the header a little bit more space, we can go here and add 10% and hit save, refresh, and you can kind of play with that. So we'll add 10% there and then go from there. Anyways, so work on the header. If you have any issues, go back to the example or go into tutorial. I think you can find a way to actually access the code, kind of copy that. Remember all these break tags, we're gonna remove those. Those are just temporary for us to be able to test the mimicking the content. All right, good luck.